capital. This is the news at 10. Live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Ayotunde Balogun.
Hello and welcome tonight. Crisis rocks Taraba PDP State Congress as two consensus candidate lists emerge. Tension in Bakassi as thugs interrupt ADC Secretariat commissioning ceremony. Governor Soludo holds interdenominational service to kick off second-term activities. And Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says Tehran has never asked for a ceasefire in the ongoing war with Israel and the United States. We begin with politics, where the Mohammed Abdurrahman PDP group has conducted its state congress in Taraba State. The Congress, however, turned chaotic following the emergence of two consensus candidate lists and names announced, which led to disagreements between the two groups, sparking outrage between party faithful, leading to the intervention of security operatives to restore order.
What started peacefully as a state congress organized by the Mohammed Abdurrahman-led PDP faction turned dramatic when Congress committee members announced Victor Falak as a consensus candidate and winner of the Taraba State chairmanship position, thereby sparking outrage.
Let me read this document of this consensus to our hearing that have been signed by all the stakeholders from various local governments to make up the consensus.
He's immediately contradicted by another member announcing a different person, Ibrahim Saleh, as a consensus candidate and winner of the chairmanship position alongside others. He argued that Victor Falak only served as a caretaker committee chairman of Taraba State and was only asked to serve for 30 days.
We have a chairman, Alhaji Ibrahim.
They're immediately sworn in.
True allegiance.
Shortly after, supporters of Victor Falak attacked the chairman of the Congress for announcing a different person as the winner, a situation which snowballed into chaos, forcing the police to whisk him away in their van. The newly sworn-in chairman of the party speaks on the controversy that trailed the Congress.
Falak is not occupying any position because he was the immediate past caretaker chairman. He was the chairman. He was given 1 month to steer and had congresses across the ward, local government, and which culminates with the state congress today. Though he too, he wants to be the substantive chairman, but delegates said no.
At the moment, the People's Democratic Party has 3 chairmen. One, Obadiah Bitrus, who was the deputy chairman of the party before his chairman defected to the APC alongside Governor Kefas. Victor Falak, who still claims chairmanship position of the party, and now Ibrahim Saleh, who came in through consensus voice votes. All attempts to speak to Victor Falak proved abortive as his phone lines remain unreachable.
What is going on in our Bakassi? Scatter everywhere. Huh? We don't need any party here apart from APC in Bakassi. We don't want anybody. Come on.
In Cross River, the State Police Command has confirmed that the official opening of the ADC Coalition Movement's new secretariat in Bakassi was disrupted moments before it was set to begin. The event, which attracted coalition members and supporters, was meant to mark a key milestone for the movement. Unidentified individuals stormed the venue, damaging canopies, scattering chairs, and even tampering with the sound system, prompting panic and forcing organizers to suspend the ceremony. A police public relations officer, Sunday Chokwa, said officers and tactical teams were quickly deployed to restore order, even as the situation is now under control, and investigations are ongoing to identify those responsible.
You're crazy in that place. The Chris.
Still talking politics, the City Boy movement is rallying grassroots support and championing the policies of President Bola Tinubu's Renewed Hope agenda. A Director General of the movement, Francis Shoga, highlighted these goals at the Ndibuisi Kanu Square in Owerri, Imo State, during the Renewed Hope National Youth Tour and Empowerment Program for the Southeast. Our correspondent, Eitokwe Kute, reports.
Excitement filled the Ndibuisi Kanu Square in Owerri, Imo State, as youths from all 5 Southeast states converged for the Renewed Hope National Youth Tour and Empowerment Program. Organized by the City Boy movement, the event drew several dignitaries, including its national patron, Seyi Tinubu, his wife, Lyle, and leaders from federal ministries, agencies, and political offices. Leaders of the City Boy movement in the Southeast took turns to address the crowd.
Today, right here in Imo, we are going to empower a lot of people with these items here and so much cash grants. This is put together not by the government of Nigeria. This is put together by the support groups who are trying to let President Bola Tinubu understand that he is super loved. This is not a jamboree. This is not for show. It is a single man that believes that everything shouldn't be governmental.
This particular movement, the City Boy movement, we are doing a nationwide tour, and the patron has deemed it necessary to begin this nationwide tour. Nani Igbo. It's a mark of honor to us. It's a mark of respect he has for the region, and we appreciate him.
The Director General of the City Boy movement, Francis Shoga, passionately outlined the vision behind the initiative, emphasizing its dedication to connecting with young Nigerians at the grassroots and empowering them to shape the future of their communities.
So today marks a change that has never happened in Nigeria. I want to assure you that we need the Southeast at the center. We need the Southeast at the forefront of this country. So that is why we have President Bola Tinubu, who has thought it true that every Nigerian must be carried along.
With the speeches over, the spotlight turns to the heart of the event, the presentation of empowerment items to the beneficiaries. One by one, the recipients step forward as essential tools and resources carefully selected to support small businesses are handed out. For many beneficiaries, the program is more than just a handout.
This is what I was given, plus every other people from my ward, Ibeku ward in Abombise local government. So this initiative is a welcome one, and we appreciate the president for this.
He helped me for many things. He helped me. I'm very, very happy. I can use it and help my siblings and other ones. Thank you. I didn't appreciate it.
As the program wraps up in Owerri, organizers announced that the Renewed Hope National Youth Tour will roll on to other parts of the country, carrying forward its mission of youth empowerment and deepening engagement in the grassroots. Eitokwe Kute, Channels Television News.
In Anambra State, and in total reverence for the unity of faith and ecumenism, Governor Chukwuma Soludo has held an interdenominational service at the International Convention Center, Awka, to mark the end of his first tenure in office and then kickstart activities for the second term swearing-in ceremony. Now, the governor, while appreciating the clergy and the congregation during the service, reaffirmed his commitment to offering unprecedented leadership.
Praises filled the air as Governor Chukwuma Soludo, government officials and Christian faithful gathered to thank God for a successful first term and seek guidance for the next 4 years. Clerics from various denominations delivered messages of hope and support for Governor Chukwuma Soludo's administration.
I must salute this great state called Anambra, which I would like to call the doyen of Nigeria. The secret of the champions of the scripture. They won their battles when it was tough. I praise the Lord.
It is very important to use this occasion to remind us all
As Psalms number 89 verse 14 states, righteousness and justice are the foundation of God's throne. Steadfast love and faithfulness go before him.
Under the banner of Leading with Wisdom and Integrity, Archbishop Alexander Ebezim issued a clarion call to Nigeria's political elite. In a stirring homily, the cleric challenged leaders to rise above the seductive traps of power and the weight of modern challenges.
Leadership is not merely about occupying a position of power. Leadership has to do with carrying the weight of responsibility. When wisdom guides decisions, integrity protects leadership. For any leadership to last, integrity must be there. My prayer is that the next 4 years will be more glorious than the past 4 years. Can I hear a big amen?
Grateful for the prayers, Governor Soludo pledges another exceptional term to deliver a prosperous and livable Anambra State.
I want to thank all of you. To God alone be all the glory. Thank you to Almighty God for granting our prayers. It's given us life, it's given us health, and I want to believe He has also guided us aright and given us the uncommon courage to bring on the uncommon transformation so far. And we want to also hand over the coming 4 years unto His hand, that He alone will see us through. Anambra is in the hand of God. Nigeria is in the hand of God, and He alone will see us through.
On March 17, 2026, Governor Soludo and Deputy Onyekachukwu Ibezim will be inaugurated for a second term, with expectations of accelerated development across Anambra State.
Still on Governor Soludo, the Anambra State Governor played host as well to members of the Muslim community across the 3 senatorial zones of Anambra State for the 2026 Iftar. Addressing his guests, the governor expressed his profound gratitude to the Muslim community in Anambra for their endorsement during the last governorship election, while speaking about ecumenism, where he referenced the reinstated national anthem as a symbol of the one nation, one destiny philosophy, urging Nigerians to live in unity and love for one another, regardless of religion, tribe, or tongue. While the chairman of the Fulani community in Anambra State, Alhaji Gidado Sadiki, praised the atmosphere of peace and the sense of community they enjoy under the current administration of Governor Soludo.
The motto of the then National Party of Nigeria, NPF, was one nation, one destiny. And that's why I love this old anthem that is now back as our national anthem. It says, though tribes and tongue may differ, but in brotherhood we stand. You don't have to speak the same language or worship the same way or even dress the same way or whatever thing, to be able to come together for a common purpose of building a livable and prosperous society. And here, for me, when we talk about ecumenism, in Anambra here we say it's one state, one people, one agenda. I mean everybody, one people, one agenda. Once you are resident here, you are and you have equal rights with everybody else.
In part 2, after the break, President Bola Tinubu received Sultan of Sokoto Saad Abubakar III at the presidential villa. Please stay with us. Welcome back. If you have just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, broadcasted live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Crisis rocks Taraba PDP State Congress as 2 consensus candidate lists emerge. Tension in Bakassi as thugs interrupt ADC Secretariat commissioning ceremony. Governor Chukuma Soludo holds interdenominational service to kick off second-term activities. And Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says Tehran has never asked for a ceasefire in the ongoing war with Israel and the United States. The Sultan of Sokoto and chairman of the Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs, Alhaji Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, has paid a courtesy visit to President Bola Tinubu at the presidential villa in Abuja. The visit comes a day after former head of state General Yakubu Gowon also called on the president at the State House, sustaining what has become a season of high-profile engagement between the presidency and key segments of leadership in the country during the ongoing Ramadan period. Now, preparations for the state visit of President Bola Tinubu to the United Kingdom are indeed gathering pace. Earlier this evening in London, Nigeria's Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, led a government delegation in a briefing with members of the international media, outlining the significance of the visit as attention turns to Windsor Castle. President Tinubu will be hosted by His Majesty King Charles III later this week in what is expected to be a landmark moment in UK-Nigeria relations, combining the ceremonial traditions of a royal welcome with high-level engagements aimed at strengthening economic, diplomatic, and strategic ties between the two countries.
Media industry in our
I remember former Foreign Secretary David Lamy came to Nigeria in November 2024, and he did meet with the president. He visited Lagos and met with our foreign minister, and this is further to strengthen that relationship between Nigeria and the UK. Nigeria has historical ties to UK, from colonial rule to decolonization, and now we are on our own for the past 60 years or so. And I said this is just to further strengthen the ties between us, between our two countries. Well, I believe that there will be some bilaterals we are going to sign, especially on trade, commerce and industry, even military assistance. There are all kinds of things that we're going to get from this trip. And I think we're going to go back to Abuja, believing that the trade between Nigeria and Britain will further expand. It's already, I think, as of now, about £8 billion a year. I expect it to increase further. I expect us to get certain concessions on what Nigerians can bring to Britain, and vice versa, what Britain can also export to Nigeria.
I think this visit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the United Kingdom offers both countries an opportunity to press the reset button, looking at the past relationship and then leaping into the future. And when you look at it after 39 years or 37 years, we're having this happen, also speaks to a validation of the resonance of the reforms President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has embarked on in the last 3 years. That global resonance is beginning to yield results, because diplomacy delivers not just cultural ties, it also delivers economic benefits. It also delivers support in terms of security, health, education. And Nigeria right now has turned a new trajectory when it comes to diplomacy. And where best to start it in Europe than the United Kingdom.
The federal government has officially launched the National Action Plan on Criminal Justice Administration as part of efforts aimed at transforming Nigeria's legal framework from a sophisticated text into a practical, efficient, and rights-respecting system. Speaking in Abuja at a high-level stakeholders coordination meeting to strengthen the implementation of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act 2015, The Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Lateef Fagbemi, emphasized that criminal justice is a chain of coordinated responsibilities involving investigation, prosecution, and corrections. The minister explains that the new action plan is designed to bridge gaps by converting broad reform objectives into measurable outcomes with defined timelines, as he warns that weak interagency collaboration leads to missing case files, avoidable adjournments, and preventable rights violations.
The Administration of Criminal Justice Act is more than a set of procedural rules. It is a governance framework designed to deliver a justice system that is faster, fairer, and more responsive to the needs of victims, suspects, defendants, and the society. Now and beyond its early years, our focus must shift decisively from what the law provides to what the system delivers. The true test of the act lies in whether daily institutional practice reflects its core objectives. Ensuring efficiency and speed in criminal proceedings, protecting the rights of suspects and defendants while maintaining public safety, reducing unnecessary pretrial detention and custodial congestion, promoting non-custodial and restorative measures where appropriate, and strengthening transparency, accountability, and data-driven administration of criminal justice. These goals align with the constitutional guarantees of fair hearing, personal liberty, and the presumption of innocence, as well as Nigeria's international commitment and widely accepted standards such as the Mandela Rule and Tokyo Rule.
The Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, the DSVA, has launched the online premarital counseling course for religious counselors to prepare couples for marriage, strengthen families, and prevent domestic violence in the home. The event held at the conference room of the agency at Novel House, Business District, Alausa in Ikeja. Unveiling the initiative during a press briefing on Tuesday, the Executive Secretary of the DSVA, Mrs. Titilola Vaiva Adeni, explained that the initiative was aimed at equipping faith leaders and religious counselors with the skills to support healthy marriages across the state. Correspondent Shala Shirley reports.
According to the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, available studies indicate that over 60% of survivors report noticing abusive tendencies before marriage. They, however, still proceeded due to social pressure, a lack of proper guidance, or the hope for change. The studies further show that 80% of survivors in Lagos solemnize their unions through religious ceremonies, highlighting the powerful role of faith institutions to prevent domestic violence before marriages even begin.
Data from Invictus Africa's Womanity Index 2024 provides additional insights into where GBV occurs in Lagos. Among survivors or individuals who know survivors, 71% experience violence within the home. While the home remains the primary location of abuse, religious institutions often serve as trusted spaces where victims seek advice or help. This makes it critical that religious counselors are equipped with the knowledge, tools, and awareness to respond responsibly and effectively. In response to this need, the Lagos State Government, through the Domestic and Sexual Violence Agency, has developed the Religious Premarital Counseling online course. This initiative builds upon the standardized premarital counseling curriculum already introduced for marriage registrars across Lagos State.
The SVA also says that beyond the statistics, the issue of domestic violence affects families, women who deserve dignity, men who deserve healthy relationships, and children who deserve to grow up in homes defined by love. Hence the need for this collaboration with pastors, imams, and religious marriage counselors, prioritizing prevention, early intervention, and community partnerships.
What we are doing here today is to look for ways at enhancing our capacities, so that we can complement what we already have in place as a diocese.
If you are not, qualified to marry,
then you don't go into marriage journey. And that's why the issue of counseling, become very, very paramount across board, either religious organizations or in the community-based, which we call engagement or, introduction and the rest.
100%. We are in support with it, and we promise, inshallah, to work with this ministry so as to ensure that the peaceful coexistence that they are aiming in our larger society is being established. So it is a welcome idea.
The course is accessible online via safeguardingfamilies.org.ng and will be delivered by leading experts in family life, education, psychology, and marriage administration. It will be complemented by the Relationship Health Clinic, which is an evidence-based framework beyond traditional advice giving, all aimed at addressing relationship health with both therapy and prevention. Shola Shuyeli, Channels Television News.
Our 4 suspects have been arrested after a security scare at the Akure Airport runway in Ondo State earlier today, following reports of suspicious movement near the airfield. According to an incident report, a woman and several young men were seen running from nearby farmland toward the edge of the runway, shouting for help after sighting men on motorcycles believed to be approaching the area. Joint security operatives, including aviation security, the Nigerian Air Force, the Nigerian Army, the Nigeria Police, and the Amotekun Corps, swiftly responded to the distress call and launched a coordinated pursuit around the airport perimeter. Now, the operation led to the arrest of 4 suspects who have now been handed over to the police for interrogation as authorities intensify efforts to strengthen airport perimeter security across the country. President Bola Tinubu is asking Nigerian lawmakers to make the amendment of the Constitution to incorporate state police a top priority, describing it as a crucial step towards safeguarding the nation. Speaking at an interfaith breaking of the fast at the presidential villa in Abuja, where he hosted leaders and members of the National Assembly, the president highlighted the urgent need to confront insurgency and ensure that Nigerian children can grow up free from fear. In this special report, we examine the pros and cons on the establishment of state police.
According to historical records, the Nigeria Police Force traces its origin back to 1820, when a 1,200-member armed paramilitary Hausa constabulary was first established. In 1894, a similar force was formed in Calabar under the newly proclaimed Niger Coast Protectorate, known as the Niger Coast Constabulary. In the northern region, the Royal Niger Company established the Royal Niger Company Constabulary in 1888 with its headquarters in Lokoja. Meanwhile, the Lagos Police was officially formed in 1896, laying the foundation for modern policing in Nigeria. In the early 1900s, the Northern and Southern Nigerian Protectorates were formally established. The Northern Nigeria Police Force was created from part of the Royal Niger Company Constabulary, while the portion of the Niger Coast Constabulary became the Southern Nigeria Police, laying the groundwork for organized policing across the regions. However, in 1914, the various regional police forces were merged, with administration centralized in Lagos for efficiency. By the 1960s, during the First Republic, these forces were first regionalized and later fully nationalized. Earlier in 1913, the British had merged the Lagos colony with the Northern and Southern Protectorates, creating the new colony of Nigeria. Following this, the Northern and Southern Regional Police Forces were combined in 1930 to form the colony's first truly national police organization, the Nigeria Police Force (NPF). Amid rising security challenges, the call for state police has resurfaced, with President Bola Tinubu leading the push.
Nigeria is extremely bigger, challenged. We are facing terrorism, banditry, insurgency, but you never fail to make a right response to these calls. What are we asked for tonight is for you to start thinking how best to amend the Constitution to incorporate the state police.
Determined to bring President Bola Tinubu's vision to life, the newly appointed Inspector General of Police inaugurated an 8-member committee on state police.
This committee on state police we are inaugurating today has a critical responsibility. Your work will help shape the framework through which state policing may operate in Nigeria in a manner that strengthens rather than fragments our national security system.
However, a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police has voiced opposition to the establishment of state police, challenging the views of its proponents.
Will state police cure the lack of funding? Will state police cure lack of uniform that you don't provide for them? Will state police cure lack of vehicles? Will state police cure all? Yes, for police, you can just bring all the talks and give them uniform and all that.
Some Nigerians also voiced their opinions on the proposed establishment of state police.
Working in a very good environment is very critical to deliver. You're in office, light goes off, you don't have a backup power. You sit in the heat. How can you deliver? I think what we need is for us to actually sit down and do a routine. Is it that anytime we have a challenge, we think of it, just like we just keep creating institutions?
By the time the governor of a state is in charge of the police, my brother, how do you think that is going to work effectively?
But if the government is going to set up a kind of, just like we have an IG today, if we're going to have someone that's going to spearhead this state policing, that they're not going to take instruction from the governors, will be the best option.
As discussions on the creation of state police gain momentum nationwide, Kaduna State, under the leadership of Governor Bakassi, is already preparing its local security apparatus for the proposed transition.
Still ahead on the news at 10, National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and DLEA arrest 74-year-old man with 11 kilograms of cocaine concealed in foil papers and balloons. Please join us again. Welcome back. Concerns over Nigeria's persistent underperformance at major international sporting events continue to mount, and the Director General of the National Institute for Sports, Philip Shaibu, warns the situation may worsen if the institute is not empowered to fulfill its mandate. In a recent interview, Mr. Shaibu criticized past sports ministers for starving the institute of funding while spending scarce foreign exchange to send athletes abroad. He also expressed disappointment with corporate sponsors and multinationals, noting that many only associate with athletes when they are on the verge of winning medals.
I saw a system where the ministry overshadowed all the activities of NIS and decided to take their responsibility, and I wish they don't have expertise to be doing. So in the course of not having the manpower and expertise to do it, they now turn it to taking our athletes outside the country for training for this work NIS is supposed to be giving to those athletes. So in the course of that, NIS, whoever was in NIS was redundant. NIS function, if NIS function to its full capacity, I can tell you we'll go to those Olympics and Commonwealth and be on the podium. We'll be on the podium in Olympics especially. The running of sport should be private sector driven, because for us to make Nigeria safe for businesses, the private sectors must come and invest and run sports. They should go beyond done when we have won or when we're about to win. They start splashing money. No. The money should come while we are preparing for games, not when we are in semi-final, final, and multinationals and big companies will start dropping dollars. No.
Now, to catch the full interview with Mr. Philip Shaibu, Director General, National Institute for Sports, please watch Newsnight by 9 p.m. on Monday, February the 16th, and that's on all channels, television platforms. In Delta, the state government has reaffirmed its commitment to partnering with key development stakeholders to deliver critical infrastructure in riverine communities. During a courtesy visit to Government House in Asaba, Governor Sheriff Oborewori says his administration is ready to collaborate with the Niger Delta Development Commission and Chevron Nigeria Limited on the construction of the 70.75-kilometer Omadino-Okerenkoko Road and bridges in Warri North local government. In a powerhouse gathering at Government House, Asaba, the NDDC and Chevron Nigeria joined forces with the Delta State government to ignite a massive infrastructure revolution. Led by the NDDC's Samuel Ogbuku and Chevron's Segun Kutei, the high-level delegation converged to finalize the roadmap 70.75-kilometer Omadino-Okerenkoko Road. This tripartite alliance aims to bridge the gap for coastal oil communities, turning a visionary project into a concrete reality that promises to transform lives across the Niger Delta.
This project is about 70 kilometers long with 29 bridges. The benefit of this project to the region and Delta states cannot be overemphasized.
The proposed road project is expected to transform connectivity across coastal Niger Delta communities, opening new opportunities for trade, mobility, and economic growth.
Your Excellency, Chevron believes that Delta State government support in all the areas enumerated by the MD&C of NDDC will be very important, including land acquisition, right-of-way matters, state and ministerial approvals for the RITCS grants. These are all very critical and instrumental in achieving the success of the project.
Governor Sheriff Oborewori says the Delta State government is fully prepared to enter a tripartite partnership to kickstart the coastal road project.
We are ready to partner, but we are going to set up our own technical team that will meet with you. It will not be a tripartite meeting where our Delta State technical team, NDC technical team, then Chevron technical team meet and come out the way forward. And if we are making any contribution, we are sure what's on the table. The contribution from Chevron, what is the value of the contribution from Chevron?
Speaking with journalists after a closed-door tripartite meeting, the NDDC Managing Director Samuel Ogbuku said talks on the project have reached an advanced stage.
Right now, we are putting up together a technical committee that will reevaluate the total cost and also look at the redesigning of this project, facing the current reality of, the right-of-way and passage along the creeks.
When completed, the Omadino-Okerenkoko Road and bridges will mark a landmark investment in connectivity, boosting economic activity and strengthening peace across Delta State's riverine communities. I'm on infrastructure projects, and this time in Kaduna, where the state government has commenced the reconstruction of the 36-kilometer Bagoma-Gagumi Road in Birnin-Gwari local government area of the state. A project expected to boost rural development and strengthen local economy of 66 farming communities. The road, which will link several farming settlements when completed by the end of this year, is part of Governor Ubasani's rural transformation agenda aimed at ensuring that rural dwellers have access to markets, hospitals, schools, and other socio-economic activities.
For years, farmers and residents of Bagoma, Gugumi, and surrounding villages in Birnin-Gwari local government area of Kaduna State struggled with poor road conditions, especially during the raining season, when large sections of the road become nearly impassable. This is coupled with the more than a decade of insecurity that bedeviled the area before the coming of the present administration.
The reconstruction of the 36-kilometer Bagoma-Gugumi road, initiated by the administration of Governor Obasani, is expected to change that narrative by restoring smooth access for farmers, traders, and commuters. During an inspection visit to the project site, the managing director of the Kaduna Road Agency describes the project as a strategic infrastructure revolution targeting rural communities that were neglected by past administrations.
It may interest the general public to note that a couple of weeks ago, His Excellency has commissioned a 35-kilometer asphaltic road from Gadangayang to Kujama Junction, linking 3 local governments. And it has been the longest ever constructed project in Kaduna State in more than 2 decades.
The quality of work done so far is highlighted, while the contractor handling the project speaks on the project completion deadline.
At least, upon completing this project, it will going to be a very, very qualitative infrastructure.
I'm sure we can guarantee we can finish all the service and also at least 10 kilometers stone base. And also the third quarter and the first quarter this year, we will finish all this asphalt concrete of this work.
Beyond agriculture, the road project is expected to improve other social activities, including access to education, healthcare, and other essential services for residents in the 66 farming communities along the corridor.
We have suffered untold hardship on this road and particularly this bridge. Our women usually die during child labor or on their way to the hospital. But with the construction of the road, we are very grateful because everyone is happy and movement is smooth.
As the road construction project begins in Briningwari, the Kaduna State government is also planning to construct 1,345 kilometers of roads across the 23 local government areas, with 150 projects already initiated and over 66 completed.
A 74-year-old man, Nkwakala Mwakoro Emeka, has been arrested by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, the NDLEA, at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, after 11 kilograms of cocaine were found hidden in foil papers and balloons inside his luggage. The septuagenarian, who claimed he was traveling to London for vacation, was detained at the departure hall while attempting to board British Airways flight to Heathrow on Saturday, March the 14th. Now, the cocaine was concealed inside food items, including ground dry pepper, and carefully wrapped to avoid detection. The NDLEA also reported that its recent operations in Lagos, Edo, and the Federal Capital Territory led to multiple arrests of suspected drug traffickers and the seizure of various narcotics, including cocaine, Canadian loud, cannabis, tramadol, and skunk. Education in Edo State just got a major boost as the state government says it will continue to prioritize teacher training to improve learning outcomes across its public schools, irrespective of location. Now, the executive chairman of the Edo State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Ebenahita Omozane, made the remark at the end of a 5-day school-based training for 1,500 selected teachers and head teachers.
Teachers and head teachers gather inside this hall at Idia College in Benin City, the Edo State capital, for the 5-day school-based training program.
So when you are teaching children, especially the one, say, Specker, C-A-T-E, Specker, according to some, that's how the Specker goes.
The chairman of the Edo State Universal Basic Education Board, Ebenahita Omozane, is also on the ground to supervise the program.
So these are what? The new words in the passage, which is familiar to the children.
The training is designed to improve the teaching capacity and classroom delivery of teachers in public basic schools across the state.
Regardless of your location and your gender, your socio-economic status, all children are going to receive the quality education. That is what His Excellency Senator Mode Okpebolo's administration is doing.
The training is also taking place at St. Maria Goreti School, also in Benin City.
I know you must have heard
but the word subject, the term subject matter before. I hope you have heard that.
At the end of the program, the SUBEB chairman engages some of the teachers to get their feedback on the exercise.
Engage yourself actively. Ask questions. Ask the facilitators questions. Share experience. It will help you a lot.
She highlights the importance of the exercise.
We have to focus on the learner-centered approach. Is it not necessary? And most importantly, the lesson plan. And also the effectiveness of classroom management. I want to appeal to all of you, take an advantage of this training.
The school-based training program is a collaboration between the Edo State Universal Basic Education Board and the Universal Basic Education Commission, UBEC, and is expected to further strengthen teacher capacity across Edo State.
And now to the arts. Illuminat is a group exhibition in Lagos. We see the contemporary pieces presented by these artists on Art Review tonight.
To the glory of God and humanity, I declare today's exhibition theme, Illuminat, open.
Illuminat, a group exhibition at the National Gallery of Art, Lagos, features a vibrant group of contemporary artists showcasing their latest collections.
We're looking at bringing the artists into the limelight. That's why it's called Illuminate. We are illuminating art through these artists. See, artists, many times they are just not appreciated because you see them in a way, you think they behave in a way that they cannot do something good, cannot do something that can express pure mind. But through the works that are displayed here today, you see the purest of the mind of artists.
This exhibition features a diverse range of pieces which explore the intersection of light, color, and social themes.
It's all about lighting up the with the work of art. And my medium here is fabrics. I use Ankara fabrics to create my art, in the sense that in order to improvise from the normal oil color painting and all that, I make use of material fabric, the Ankaras, cut them into pieces to create a masterpiece, to show another life for the fabrics. The fabrics is not meant to be put as a wear. Can also use it to make an aesthetic, a beauty to the house through the artwork.
If you look at the works, they are very bright colors, and you see a lot of female in the works. The colors shows the brightness of the whole world, and there's nothing you can do in this world without interference of ladies. I like to express myself to tell them that women are the source of happiness. Women are the source of hope. Women are those that encourage men to grow, that support us. So we don't need to neglect them. In fact, women, they are arts themselves. Because you cannot draw a painting or a portrait of a man and say you want to put it for sale. But in as much as you draw a woman with a figure 8, with his forms and everything, you see, man, I love this, I love to have this in my bedroom. I love to have this in my parlor. It attracts people because they know that women are arts.
The viewer's senses are pampered with light, bold colors, and vibrant textures.
I especially love how the artists use local materials like this painting beside me, using recycled or upcycled material to create something so beautiful, so positive. I just love the energy each artwork radiates and, up African culture.
The idea is to enlighten and educate society through these creative expressions.
In sports news, host France beat Nigeria's D Tigers 93-86 at the ongoing FIBA Women's World Cup qualifier in Lyon, France, earlier today. The hosts dominated the first quarter 29-21, second quarter 28-24, and the D Tigers bounced back, clinching the third quarter 21-15. The fourth quarter, however, went in favor of the French team at 21-20. The D Tigers, who have already qualified for the World Cup as African champions, will face Germany in their final group game on Tuesday. Nigeria now have a record of 2 wins and 2 defeats in Lyon. Kwara United denied Rangers International top spot in the Nigeria Professional Football League Match Day 30 game played this evening. A win would have moved the Flying Antelopes top of the table as they trailed league leaders Rivers United, who faced Bendel Insurance in Benin City on Monday by a point. Rivers United, who are on 51 points, have 2 games in hand. Title holders Remo Stars picked their 10th win of the season from 30 games thanks to a 2-1 win against Nasarawa United. Barrow FC beat Abia Warriors 2-0. A 3SC emerged victorious in a 5-goal thriller in Ibadan. Eimba beat Plateau United in Aba. Bayelsa United won the South-South derby against Warri Wolves. Troubled Tottenham rescued a 1-1 draw at Liverpool thanks to Richarlison's late leveller. Igor Tudor's relegation-haunted side trailed to Dominic Szoboszlai's first-half free kick at Anfield earlier today. But Brazil striker Richarlison netted in the 90th minute to spare Tottenham from a 6th successive Premier League defeat. Manchester United bolstered their bid to qualify for the Champions League with a vital 3-1 win against top-4 rivals Aston Villa. Michael Carrick's side took the lead through Casemiro's second-half opener at Old Trafford before Ross Barkley hauled Villa level. United finished strongly with Matthias Cunha and Benjamin Sesko scoring in the closing stages to seal Carrick's 7th win in 9 games since taking over as interim boss. The finalissima clash between Euro 2024 winners Spain and world champions Argentina, set to take place on March the 27th in Qatar, has been cancelled. Now, the European football governing body UEFA says it was not possible to reach an agreement with Argentina over an alternative date and location required because of the Middle East war affecting the region. Now, the finalissima pits the latest Copa America winners against the European Championship winners, with Argentina winning the inaugural edition by beating Italy in 2022 at Wembley in London. And teenager Kimi Antonelli says one of his big dreams has come true in China when he won a Grand Prix for the first.
Russell comes home. It's a Mercedes 1-2.
A 2-time Tour de France winner Jonas Vingegaard has claimed his first Paris-Nice title as Frenchman Lenny Martinez pipped him in a sprint finish to win the final stage. Vingegaard had already won 2 stages earlier in the 8-day race, but left his charge for the line a fraction too late in the 2-up sprint after the pair had broken away on the final climb of the hilly 145-kilometer 8th stage that started and finished in Nice on the French Riviera. With 3 victories from his first 8 days of racing this season, Vingegaard is in fine form ahead of his tilt at the Giro d'Italia Tour de France double.
Finally, I'm able to win Paris-Nice, and it's been the tough one for me. But I'm extremely happy to sit here in the yellow jersey today. And of course, I would have loved to win the stage as well. But yeah, Lenny he was very strong, so he deserves to win as well.
On the international scene, Iran's Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi has dismissed reports of proposed ceasefire talks with Israel and the United States, and saying that Tehran has never asked for a ceasefire indeed. Well, in an interview with a CBS News, Araghchi adds that Iran sees no reason to negotiate with the U.S., noting that talks were ongoing where the Americans attacked Iran. Now, in the meantime, both countries traded strikes overnight while missile and drone interceptions have been reported in Gulf states. Israel launched wide-scale strikes on targets in western Iran as missiles reportedly hit multiple sites across central Iran's Isfahan province. At least 15 people died in the latest attack. Meanwhile, U.S. President Donald Trump says Iran wants to make a deal to end the war, but he's not ready because the terms are not good enough. And in East Africa, at least 66 people have died in Kenya over the past week following heavy rains that caused widespread flooding, authorities say, up from a previously reported toll of 42. In Nairobi, 11 people were rescued after a minibus taxi, locally known as Matatu, became trapped in rising waters, while 2 children were saved from a flooded home, according to the Kenyan Red Cross. And the main news again. A crisis rocked the Taraba PDP State Congress today as 2 consensus candidate lists emerged from the exercise. And Governor Chukwuma Soludo today held an interdenominational service to kick off second-term activities. And that's the news at 10 tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Ayo Tunde Balogun from everyone here. Do have a good night.